Out to Don Godby Fields for the Lady Patriots against the Lady Mohegans. Scoreless in the third inning. Kylie Conley drives this ball deep into right field. Maddie Stone is tracking it at the wall, but it's out of here for a solo home run. South leads it 1-0. Then the next batter is Brooklyn Whitehead, and she crushes this ball to straightaway center field. That's gone for another dinger. Back-to-back home runs, and it's now 2-0. It's 3-0 in the fourth as Conley rips a line drive into right. Briley Hatcher will score. Emma Kuhl is rounding third. She'll score as well. Conley's RBI double makes it 5-0. The bats stay hot in the inning with Allison Markham hitting it off the pitcher's glove and into the outfield. That allows Aniston Shelton to come home as well as Conley. Lady Patriots on a roll here, up 7-0. And they were not done. Still in the same inning, Kaylee Lockhart brings in two more with a grounder. Parkersburg South with a dominant 10-0 win over Morgantown. The Williamstown Lady Jackets also had their home opener. They were looking for an early season conference victory as they faced Tyler Consolidated in an LKC clash. Starting in the bottom of the first, Tatum Oates rips one into left for a leadoff double. Jackets looking to tie it up. Oates would advance to third, then take advantage of a wild pitch and come across to score to make it a 1-1 ball game. Top of the fourth now, Knights lead it 2-1. Kirsten Kirby gets Riley Butler to chase the high heat. That'll end the inning. Still the same score in the top of the fifth. Lexus Rocchio lines one into right center. That'll score 2 runs to make it 4-1 Knights. And Tyler would strike again in this inning. Haley Sandy goes backside and Williamstown can't come up with it. Rocchio will come in to score as well. And into the home half of the fifth, Nevaeh Moore drops one into center field. That rolls to the fence, and Shaylee Montgomery crosses home plate. Rocchio back up with a runner on third. She lofts one high into left field. That'll be caught, but the runner comes in to score. Give Rocchio a sac fly. Tyler goes on to get the win, 11-3. In other scores, the Parkersburg South baseball team fell to Hurricane on the road by a score of 6-5. The Parkersburg Lady Big Reds came up short in a 12-1 loss to Hurricane. The Williamstown Yellowjackets with a dominant 18-4 win at Wahama, and the St. Mary's softball team opened their season with a 6-1 victory over Ravenswood.